record this. And we'll start with this. Have you downloaded the Classroom client already?
No, I was not informed by that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had been or not. We'll be sure that you get a link to do that once we're done with
Okay, good.
But we'll start with this. The Classroom client is what you should be seeing right now.
Yes,
Right?
I see.
Okay. Before you log in, you will get a name and a password and everything to log in and see this.
Okay.
We skip that step for now. But once you are in, you will see this homepage here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a few options. We're up here, just seeing our classes for the day. You can also see them by category, which you should only have one. You can see them by schedule here.
Okay.
And these are the only three that you will really need. The cloud is not necessary. And these are not necessary either, except that sometimes you will be asked to update the software, which will be here. It also includes a help center, which can direct you to a manual if you need any help with the software.
Okay.
That's just
I'm glad it's in the English, not in Chinese.
It is all in English.
And it makes it so easier.
I swear it all makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's see. I'll turn my camera off here so we can see us in the Classroom client. Okay.
So here on this page, right.
Make sure that we're sharing here. Okay.
So here on this page, you can see, you can choose a camera, right? You can microphone, you can regulate the volume, right? Speaker, and then after there is this button, right? So even if you see yourself, you still have to enter the classroom, right? Before you hit this button, students cannot see you, right?
Okay.
Enter the classroom.
Okay. So we're in the classroom now. We've got two cameras set up. We're on my computer now as the teacher, and on Nadia's computer on the other side of the office, we've got her set up as a student.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Just to show you that there are a few differences when you hover over the cameras. As you see, when you hover over the teacher's camera, you'll have these three options at the bottom. When you hover over the student's camera, you'll see these four options, as well as this trophy counter on the side. We'll go over that in a little bit. We're just going to go over the major things of the platform first, and we'll come back to that. The first thing is this row that all of our cameras on is what Classroom considers the stage, which you'll see sometimes it'll ask if you want students on or off the stage.
Okay.
When they're on the bar, they are on stage. And they are also on stage when you hold their camera and drag them onto the main area here.
Okay.
You can do that to yourself and to as many students as you want at the same time.
Okay.
Especially makes things helpful. Kind of gives the teacher a bit of command when you can bring all the students up to the top and enlarge yourself here in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
Gives you a bit more authority.
Uh-huh.
Which,
and is there a button that makes it directly back up on stage?
There is not. Sorry. All you have to do is drag yourself back up to the top.
Okay, that's good.
Or drag any camera up. So there's no need to look for a button there. But yeah, you can do that with any camera. Manipulate it, enlarge it, shrink it, widen it like this.
I love this one.
But that's the big thing there with the cameras. You've got all the freedom you need to do that. The next thing will be the toolbar here on the right.
Can you see the toolbar?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we've had issues doing this where the toolbar has not been visible. So the first thing you'll have is the cursor, which is pretty general, kind of the default which you'll use to move things around. Next is the pen, which will let you choose a color and a size. To be honest, most of these are fairly self-explanatory. Below that is the typing tool, so you can type anywhere. Same thing, change the font size, change the color. Here's your cut tool, which is a little strange, and I'll show you. Let's just draw a little bit on the blackboard here. Oh yeah, there's screenshot as well if you want to save something on the screen for sometime later.
Okay.
That'll be up to you. But to delete things, it's a little odd, as you will need to be here on the cursor, and you'll have to, you have to make a box over what you want deleted, and then hit the trash can.
Again.
Okay.
So that's a little odd, but it's doable.
Yeah. With explanations, okay. So is it like that for each page that we're on? Or if I change page, everything is going to get off by itself?
We'll go over that in a second.
Okay.
Because we'll show you what it looks like when the lesson is pulled up.
Okay.
Here, you got a laser pointer. Sorry?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So your laser pointer you can use. Down here is a chat box where you can write to all the students. Students will be writing to themselves, to each other. The cloud holds the lessons. Now, when you enter the classroom, the lessons should be loaded already.
But it will not be visible, right? So you might want to choose it first, right? So for example, right now you can see that the classroom is empty, right? So there is no lesson, right? So you can choose the lesson and then it's going to appear.
Okay.
Right? So don't forget to choose the lesson, and most importantly, to remember which lesson are you teaching. You are teaching.
Exactly. So it's the same thing for like the E40s.
Yes.
We have all the files. We just have to choose the good.
The right one.
Yes. I won't say confidently, but I believe it should already appear on the blackboard here, but
okay.
I don't know for sure yet. Mm-hmm. But just in case, that's how you'll find them.
Okay.
The next thing will be your toolbox here. These give you a couple tools you can use, similar to the platform we use for E40. Talk Lab, we'll go over them anyway. They mostly start from here with the stopwatch. They're all basically exactly the way they seem to be. Gives you a little countdown. Mm-hmm. Virtual die.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's a little fun. You can use it to choose a student or do any activity with numbers like that. Here's a blackboard, a small blackboard, which will let you write something for everybody, or pass out like a individual blackboard for all of the students. So write something for you. Once you collect them, the students will lose the ability to draw, and you'll be able to see everything that they've drawn on there.
Okay, I would like you to explain again, because I always had problem with that blackboard. I don't understand how it works. When you send it, you said that we cannot write anymore?
When you send it, you should be able to write.
Okay, but they cannot.
But once you send it, they can write. But when you collect it, they can no longer write.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's the thing. So when it's sent, it's okay. When I ask to have it back, this is when they cannot. Okay.
Yes. I will say, use this if you're creative. I don't use this in my classes.
It didn't work. I tried once.
I haven't found a way to get it to work for my classes.
Yeah, but from time to time, like when you have to write something and you don't want to put it on the screen, on the page, right? And a lot of teachers, they actually use this paper when they try to write something down, right? And it doesn't work very well because of the light and the camera quality, right? So if you want to draw something or to write something, you can use the small blackboard, write down quickly, close it, then pull it up again, write down again, something just if you need to do.
Okay, so I can write down. Sometimes I like to do like another way of like giving stars or things like that. I can write it down there, but after I wrote it down, I have to press send. If I don't press send, they don't see it. That's it? Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand now. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. We're happy to clear anything up. Let's see, where were we? Here. It's kind of like a timer that lets students respond. It's kind of weird without having the student there, but it basically counts down, and the kids will be able to click it if they can answer a question. And then once the timer is up, it'll randomly choose somebody who can give you an answer.
Okay, right now nobody answered.
You're not at your computer answering the question.
You have to run to your computer.
And then I think this is the next one we do like to use quite a lot for a multiple choice tool. Let you add and subtract answers. You choose which answer to the question is correct, and it'll send this out so that all of these students can choose an answer, and you'll be able to see on this graph what they've all said.
Okay.
Which, of course, unfortunately, we can't see at the moment, but I think you get what happens with this one.
Yeah.
And that is basically all of the useful things in the toolbar.
And this one's the list of the students.
Oh, sorry. That's not true. There's one more useful thing here. The teacher list here, or the student list, will just give you the information for everybody, as well as the ability to take them on and off of the stage.
You see my camera disappears and appears, right? So if the student is misbehaving, right, or I don't know, something goes on and you don't want his camera to be there or her camera to be there, you can take them off the stage, right? And then you can put it back. It is very unfortunate when sometimes you have the same button here if you put your cursor on the camera, right? From time to time you can hit it not on purpose. Right.
Yeah, I did that
and
once.
then you have to, yes, and then you have to go back to this list and put them back on the stage.
Right.
Oh, that's the way. Okay.
Right, and also you can see if the student is mute, if his camera is on or her camera is on, or you can remove them at all. But I think this is
that's
No.
This also gives you an option to move students' order around up at the top. Make it a little more interesting if you feel this. Some kids prefer to be right next to the teacher.
Okay.
Which depends. Some students really like that. Others don't care at all. But that option is there just in case. So that's the toolbar on the side. We'll get to that in a second. So let's talk about the student camera, because the student has 4 options under here. They're fairly self-explanatory, but we'll start with the farthest one on the right, which, as Nadia pointed out, takes the kids off the stage, which unfortunately the only way to bring them back is to come down here and pull them back up.
Good. So I won't panic anymore.
At that point, you know how to get there. The next thing is the second one here is the mute button. It even gives you a little symbol on the camera to let them know the status of their microphone. How you want to do it is up to you, but I prefer, when I teach, to keep everybody at mute until I feel it's time for them to speak.
Okay.
Before it devolves into a chaos of children shouting.
Yeah.
But you can do it the way you feel.
Okay.
Your option is there. The next thing, the green trophy gives out trophies.
Woohoo, that's the best ever.
Yes. So you can use this for whatever reward system you'd like.
You can put them into teams, individually, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you'll always be able to see how many they have at the bottom of their camera here.
Excellent.
And the last one is the crown, which gives them authorization, meaning that they will also see this toolbar when they have the crown, and they will be able to draw and type and delete.
Right, so once you give them this opportunity to draw and write, right, don't forget to take it back, otherwise they will continue drawing.
Use it wisely.
They will use it wisely, and you know.
Okay, take them off.
So if they drew something, and that's enough.
Oh, and the other thing is, when they are muted, they do have a raise hand tool. It kind of gives them a virtual hand.
Okay.
You will see that down at the right-hand corner.
How many students are raising hands?
How many students are raising hands? But you'll also see on each camera who has a hand raised.
And for what? I don't understand for what.
Like if you want to ask a question, who can answer my question?
Oh, okay.
Just the same, like in 40, they can also raise a hand there, right? And there is this hand icon,
Yeah, I didn't know what it was for.
Yes. So you can use that. The students should know they can raise their hand.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, everything will be explained to them by Chinese staff, right? They will explain to them what the student can do and cannot do in the classroom.
Okay, cool.
All right. That's all of the technical side. It sounds like a lot, but it is fairly straightforward.
Yeah, it looks a bit like the E40, so at least.
Yes, it is very similar. I actually think the toolbar is a little simpler, especially with the colors and fonts.
Yeah.
Able to change from this menu here. But if you have any questions on that, let us know now, or else we'll move on to the curriculum.
I just want to ask fast. We cannot write like the ABC letters, huh? That I see here, or is it the T? The T is it the letters?
Yeah, the T will let you type.
To write. Okay, to type. Okay, excellent.
Like this.
Okay, that's good.
All right. So if there's nothing else, we'll give you an example of curriculum for this new program. We'll go with our reading class, which is called Go Fishing, which right now we have 4 different kinds of classes, and once this is done, you will get a PDF copy of all of them.
Okay.
By this weekend.
I just want to comment on that you know, these PPTs were created by our Chinese colleagues, right? There are some mistakes in them.
Oh, okay.
We will.
We're working on editing them now. So.
They will be corrected at some point, right? But right now there are some mistakes. And also, when we're going to show you this class, keep in mind that, I mean, when you're going to get ready for the class, keep in mind that objective of this class is for foreign teacher to practice speaking with Chinese students, right? Because before that, they already had 2 classes.
3 classes.
3 classes with a Chinese teacher. And Chinese teacher already explained the grammar and the vocabulary, right?
Okay.
So when you look at the vocabulary, look at the activity,
right.
look at it the way, how can you practice speaking?
Because it won't be the first time they've seen this.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's excellent.
Yes. Sorry, we got that message there. Okay. So with that, you'll have your lesson here. Just like the camera, you can manipulate it however you'd like, change the size. I like to keep it full screen like this, as big as it possibly can get. Be careful here because these lessons are sort of like PowerPoints and they have animations.
Oh, wow.
So this looks like it's blank, but as I'm about to show you, when you hit the play button, it will bring an animation like this.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes. Be aware of that because these back and forward arrows will be like moving through slides on PowerPoint, meaning it'll skip through all the animations and everything.
No.
Yes. So I was like, do keep that in mind that the play button is what you should know. And if you have a chance beforehand, it's good to go through and see where the animations happened. There are no surprises during the lesson.
Excellent.
Just going to let you know that. Because as things go on, it'll bring you questions like this, which, surprise, are multiple choice questions.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, before you ask a question without the choices already up there, these things will come up. So do try to know where they are coming up.
Excellent. Prepare well.
Yes. Yeah. Just going to give you a heads up on that. Yeah, and like before, you can draw all over here the same way you said. As you asked earlier, when you change to a new slide, what you drew will disappear.
Excellent.
Yes. So that answers that one. This lesson is the reading lesson. So the first half will be based on this story, which will come up. That's kind of a poem kind of thing, one stanza, one section at a time.
Okay. So, like I see, you have to press play for after each animation.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. We are going to talk to the team that is making this, but this does become a bit tedious here.
Yeah.
Telling your story, and you will have to press play.
The same bird flying over and
4
over
or 5 times.
Oh, really? Okay.
I apologize for that. We're going to see if we can change that part.
Okay.
But that's what you have here. For this, the first half will be this. Skip through a bit. It's all kind of the same until this red dot, which will be the end of the story.
Wow, okay.
And I said you can teach this the way you feel based on the abilities of the student. So if you want to read it to all of them at first, have them all read together, pick a kid out and have him read. You're free to do
it's all up to you. Just make sure that they are kind of practicing the targeted vocabulary and grammar throughout the lesson.
Okay.
The end is just the end of the story, not the end of the presentation. So after this, the second half of this particular lesson will be question and answer and a few games and some discussion.
Okay.
Which you can teach using all the tools at your disposal. You can teach by bringing kids up and down, on and off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of room to be creative.
Yes, and also keep in mind that these lessons are 45 minutes.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Right, so these lessons are 45 minutes, right? So that's why they pay double, because our normal class is 25 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And also pay attention that, we say that to teachers that these PPTs, right, they have many activities that are not made to be activities for speaking, right? For example, here, right? Yeah. There's not a lot of things that you can talk about with students, right?
Right.
That's why maybe, when you prepare, pay attention where you can, maybe ask some additional questions, maybe read or to repeat or practice, right? Because on a slide like that, you will not be able to,
that's true.
2 minutes, right? And the class is 45, 50 minutes, right? And it's still a long time. And from time to time, even if you're going to have maximum of 6 students, sometimes only 3 or 2 of them are going to show up. Right. And you're going to have a lot of time, right? So be aware that there are some slides where you can take your time, and there are some slides when basically you cannot do anything, basically.
Right.
To be ready to put some more things if there's just 2 or 3, like you say.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's see, keeping in mind the different kinds of lessons are mostly these story lessons, and then a few are phonics lessons.
Yes.
That you will see when we send it out this weekend.
Hello?
Okay, interactive.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it? No, it's a question.
Sorry?
With the slides that we have here, there's no sound, and it's just slides and questions, but there's no music or anything like that.
No.
Okay, just to make sure.
So it'll be all of this too. I must say, let's pull that phonics lesson for a second. There are some things that you're going to have to know beforehand. Let's go a bit through here. As let's see, it wasn't this one, was it? Well, I'll give you a bit of the phonics lesson. It'll mostly be practicing sounds like this. So it'll give you a chance to go over the sounds with everybody, and then you'll play a number of games where you're making words and saying words using the things they've learned here.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so these are the 2 kinds of lessons that you can expect.
Right.
Okay.
So we will be sending you the link, I think, to download Classin.
Yes.
And
definitely.
all the PPTs, right? But the trick is to practice actually where the animation comes in, right? So that's why we have an option here in Classin to have a temporary classroom.
Yes, let me show you that. So when you see your class here, it'll be on your schedule. It won't let you enter your classroom until, I think, 15 minutes before your class time.
Okay.
But you can come down here where it says temp classroom, and it will give you this message, which gives you a classroom that lasts 15 minutes. It looks the same way that a normal classroom does. But students will not be able to enter.
Okay.
You can't enter now because we've got the classroom open now. But you will have that opportunity to go in and play around with the tools and see what the lesson looks like in the classroom.
Yeah, which is fantastic because you can prepare.
Exactly, yeah. And do we have like we see a schedule in this, or it'll be somewhere else, the schedule for the classes?
So you will give us the availability. We will schedule classes for you and let you know. I think Paula or Selena will let you know via email, I think.
Right. They should appear in this schedule here, though.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see.
I think they're going to be in the schedule.
But you also should be notified of when they will be.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
Well, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all that we have.
Yes. Do you have any questions?
For now, no. If I do think, I'll send you guys questions because I have a class in 2 minutes. But I'm very excited, and you did a very good presentation, and I can't wait to start.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. I see you saying bye if you don't see me.
All right. See you later.
Thank you.
See you later. Have a good class.
You guys too. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.